What's happening, everybody? Hope you're doing fantastic today. My name is Tyson here with Repair My Funnel, and today we're going to be talking about workflows in ClickFunnels 2.0. Now, there's been some new releases here around the functionality of triggers inside of the platform here, where we can now base our triggers off of action or activity in a broadcast. The three different trigger points that were added here are going to be when someone clicks on a link inside of an email broadcast, when someone opens an email broadcast, and when someone is sent a broadcast, which will help us customize and curate the experience that we have for our customers. So with that said, let's go and dive into the platform here, and I'll show you how to do everything step by step, shall we? Starting off, the first thing you want to do here is make sure that you're in the automations tab in that left-hand navigation. After clicking on automations, click on workflows in that sub dropdown, and you'll see the same page we're looking at right now, which is going to be your workflows page. All right, now from this point, either add a new workflow or just go to an existing one. Once you're inside of the workflow, just like this, go and click on workflow triggers at the very top of the page. It's always gonna be that topmost point inside of the workflow, and it'll show a little lightning bolt icon just like this. All right, click on that directly. And at this point, if you already have active triggers, no worries, we're not gonna interfere with those at all. We're gonna go ahead and actually expand upon them by clicking on add a trigger. All right, after that, go ahead and select the event type dropdown, the first option there. And within that dropdown, three options we're looking for are going to be these guys right here. We have email broadcast click, email broadcast open, and email broadcast sent. Those are the three new options that have been added. And now you can base an entire workflow off of these guys right here. So if we, for instance, wanted to trigger a workflow based off of when someone clicks inside of a specific broadcast, go and click on that option right there. And then from there, go and select the actual broadcast you want to specify this event for. I'm going to go ahead and select this guy right here as an example. And then right below that, go ahead and choose whether or not you want anonymous contacts to be run through this workflow or not. I usually turn this off. And after that, you can go and save changes. Now, before we save changes, actually, I also like to turn this to active and then save. You can technically do that on the next step over here on the main pop-up here for workflow triggers. I can always turn that on or off. At this point, the workflow will be triggered based off of the click inside of that broadcast. But if we ever wanted to add another trigger point, we can always do so by clicking on add a trigger and then select another event type and all that good stuff. Basically, the exact same process, just repeat it again, and it will just list that new trigger on the screen. And as far as I know, there's not a limit on how many triggers you can use. So, I mean, use this as you see fit. All right. But anyways, with that set up, we can now see that whenever someone meets that criteria of clicking on a link inside of that email, the workflow itself will be triggered and they'll be enrolled in a course. At least that's what I have set up on my side. Anything that you have set up in your workflow will take place instead, right? Obviously, it is very specific. But the last thing that you want to make sure is true here is that your workflow is actually turned on. So once everything is good to go and you have all the correct steps inside of the workflow and the trigger is all set up correctly with it turned on, make sure to go over to the right side of the screen, click on status, and then click on enable. Basically what that's going to do is just make sure this is actually live. And when someone meets that criteria that we just set up, or that event type, the workflow will actually trigger and run. And whatever you have in it will take place. Now, if you have any questions around anything that we just set up, make sure to let me know down below. I will do my best to point you in the right direction and answer any questions that you might have. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.